Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. It's me, basically Brittany. If you're new, if you're clicking in, welcome for the first time. So I've waited long enough, and so I'm hoping if you read the title, you've seen Scream 6, and if not, get up out of here. Go before you hear spoilers. You don't want to hear the spoilers. Get on up out of here. But hey, come back and watch this video. So now, if everyone's gone that hasn't seen the movie, and if you're still here, it makes you true Scream fanatics, just like me, because I literally saw the movie. I would have saw it the day of, like, right before it came out. It came out on the 9th. I would have saw it on the 8th, but I waited to get tickets with my best friend for that Friday, so I still got to see a good showing of it. So we're just gonna run through the movie. I'm gonna just talk about what I thought about each part and all the killers and what I think is going to happen in Scream 7, because I'm pretty sure there's going to be a Scream 7. I mean, unless they don't get Nev, because if they don't get Nev, I don't know, they might have a riot on their hands. But Scream 6 made a good chunk of change to give Nev Campbell the coins that queen deserves. So give her coins. So we're just going to run into the opening, and the opening starts out how every Scream movie starts, with the phone call. But I loved how it started off with a phone call, but it wasn't our initial jump right into Ghostface and his shenanigans. No, we're at a bar, we're at a bar, and we're with, is it Samara Weaving, however you pronounce her name, the girl from Ready or Not. I love her. So her character is Laura. She's a college film study professor, and she's waiting for a date, and it's obviously a guy she probably met online, or most likely met online. Somebody definitely met them online, and they're messaging back and forth. His name is Reggie. He's running late, and he's messaging her, letting her know, hey, I'm running late, I think I'm lost. And then he asked to call her, which realistically, if you're meeting someone online, or even if you're meeting like blind dates, like someone gave them your number to get in contact, just like nowadays, it's just people text rather than, you're close. Like, only call like 3 people really without texting them first. But so that's like a real realistic thing, that he would, ask if he could call before just immediately calling, because that would have been a red flag if they would have just immediately called. And when he calls and she answers, we can like hear the voice. And if you already knew that this person was going to be in the movie, like already, you hear the voice of Jason, who is the guy who played the Flash in the Spider-Man movies. And his name is Jason in this movie, but it wasn't his picture, but it's his voice. So he gets her to leave the bar after letting her know that he's probably lost and needing to know what color the building is to see if he can see it. So not only did he trick her to walk out the bar, he also tricked her to run down an alley. And then he starts to laugh, because being a film professor, mainly doing 20th century slasher films, she was talking about how she knew all the tropes and all the rules. And sis, you just completely did the opposite of that. And Ghostface got you in a corner, and he put on his voice and really laughed in her face about it. During that phone call, a girl on the street screams. She loses concentration, and then when she turns back, boom, there goes Ghostface right behind her, and he stabs her viciously. Like, he stabbed her like he really had a problem with her, which we found out that he kind of did. So when we're getting her slashing, and we're thinking we're getting, Ghostface slashing final words right before the final card, the title card. But it's just lingering on Ghostface. Then Ghostface does something that we've never seen happen in an opening. Ghostface reveals who they are, and it is Jason. I literally started screaming in the theaters. I was like, no, I don't want to do a Scream movie where I start off the movie, knowing who the killer is, and just basically watching the movie, seeing everyone put the pieces together and see if they find out it's him, and see how like close they might get to finding it's him, and something might happen, and just seeing the ins and outs behind. I don't want to see that. I want the same formula, but that threw me off. But it was okay because we find out what's going on later. So technically, we got our first Ghostface reveal. Um, so he derobes and he's going back towards campus because we're, Scream 2. It's not Scream 2, it's Scream 6. But technically, we're following the same beaten path as Scream 2. So we're at college and he runs into Tara and he's asking her if her sister's going to a frat party, which she says no. Which, to be honest, Tara, if anybody asking about your sister, it would just give off immediate red flags. It's not Mindy, Chad, Gail. If it's not them, why are you asking about her, huh? What's so important? What you need with Sam? Hmm? But when Jason gets back to his apartment, he's calling out for his roommate and he's like apologizing because him and his roommate had planned to kill their professor together to start off their Ghostface cult killing. They are stands of Richie. We find out in the phone call. Um, and later on in the phone call, that he gets from his roommate. Him and his roommate are going back and forth, but he's noticing that his roommate is using the voice changer, and that's something they agreed that they wouldn't do. But the voice is saying, well, we also agreed that we would do the killings together, and you went ahead and did it without me, so let me go ahead and get my little fun off too. They get a back and forth, and then Jason realizes that something's wrong, that this is not his roommate. So they start playing a game of hot and cold, where Ghostface is telling him that he's somewhere in the apartment, hot and cold, as he's walking around. And he gets cold. Well, no, he gets hot and finds his real actual roommate in the fridge, which was a crazy. I kind of had a feeling that was going to happen because Ghostface called him right before he opened the refrigerator. But that was like a crazy reveal to see. And then Ghostface pops up behind him and starts slashing him like the animal he called his professor. And he's basically telling him that if anybody's going to go after not Sarah, if anyone's going to go after Sam and Tara, which, hey, combined name, Sarah, if anyone's going after Sam and Tara, it's going to be him. And that's when we get our slice into the Scream title card, which I love that part of the Scream movies when Ghostface get that final slash and it says Scream. I just want to say though, I love the older Billy mask that we're getting in this movie. Like we're getting all the mask. We get all the masks through this movie, like every mask from Billy and Stu to Richie and Amber. And I love to see the different styles of the mask. Like, you can really tell that some are older, some are fresher, some are newer, and you can really see the damage and how they did a little bit to each mask to make it its own. I love that we did that Scream. Applause for you. So we're going to get into the opening, well, not opening act one, I guess you would say. And we meet up with Sam after everything in Scream 5. And girl is doing what she's much needed. She's going to see a therapist. Applause for Sam for getting much needed help. Because she's dealing with a lot. Not only she's dealing with everything that went down in Scream 5, she's dealing with the fact that Billy Loomis is her daughter. Not Billy Loomis's. She's dealing with the fact that she is Billy Loomis's daughter. And she's dealing with the fact that her mom basically is disowning her, and not only disowning her, but now Tara, just because Tara wishes to have a relationship with her sister. Crazy. And then it gets into her deeper issues, which kind of, I believe, scared the therapist off, because right after she tells the therapist about the attack of 2022, how she stabbed Richie 22 times, slit his throat, and then gave him that final headshot. But then she told him that doing all of that, which was in self-defense, let me not forget that. Everything Sam did was in self-defense. No matter how, what's the word? How she might have took it overboard, but not really, because they was after you. And, when you after me and it's life or death, any means necessary. But she told the therapist that while doing that, she felt right. She felt like that was her path, that was her destiny, and that's what she should be doing. And not only that, because like Billy was egging her on, Ghost Daddy Billy was egging her on. So the therapist immediately dropped her as a client, told her the session was over with, and he should probably be reporting everything that she just said, even though she wasn't saying that she wishes to do these things. Um, that's just how that moment and that time made her feel, which, that's what a therapist is for, to listen to that type of stuff. But that's neither here nor there. He drops her as a client. She goes home. And we get a new addition, Gwen, which is a roommate to Sam and Tara, who is very sex positive. Like, I don't know. We don't know. I forget who they said was in the room, but Sam called that guy a different name, and that guy was like, "Who is that?" And so she's very sex positive. So shout out to you, Gwen, for doing you, sis, having fun. College life. And we also found out that she is Detective Bailey's daughter. Um, Gwen and not Tara. Gwen and Sam are having a conversation. Gwen is trying to tell Sam not to be mad at her, but Tara went ahead and went to that party that Sam told her not to go to. But when we see them having that little conversation, we also get a little looks next door to the neighbor, Danny, who is Sam's love interest. Well, love interest / little sneaky link, because she does not want them to be publicly exclusive, mainly publicly exclusive to Tara, Mindy, well, mainly all the friends. Not only because it's going to be traumatic for Sam to open up to someone again, but also to have that person around her sister and the friends who also been through this whole traumatic, crazy thing because of the person she was dating. So we all understand why she's walking on needles, but she still have needs, which he looks like he meets. So we get back to Tara, Minnie, Chad, and the new members, Anika or Anika? I think it was Anika, or I forgot how they say her name. Anika and Ethan. So Anika and Mindy are on the couch and they see someone in a ghost face mask, but it's school colors. And Anika's asking Mindy, like, how does it feel to be at a house party where you were recently I wouldn't say recently. It's been, I don't know how long it's been, but how does it feel, being at a house party after you were just attacked at a house party? And she was like, really, really, to be honest, Mindy, girl, you know all these rules and you gonna jinx yourself like this, because she says that, it's like being struck by lightning. It only happens once. I'm just like, girl, you just wrote yourself a ticket right there. So Tara's dealing with her trauma in different ways. She's doing a lot of partying. She's doing drinking. She's just trying to do things to keep her mind off and get her mind off of all the trauma that happened to her in 2022, because sis went through it. Okay, surprise, she is walking and everything is all together and she's fine. She's talking to this guy named Date Break Frankie, and I really don't want to get into or know why that is his name. And if that's his name, we should probably get on the college campus. Like, if this is the thing that everyone knows, let's talk about this publicly. Let's get him off of campus. When Tara's starting to go upstairs with Frankie, the gang gets Chad to try to talk her out of it, but Tara's a little in the cup. So they break Frankie gets a little bit aggressive with Tara, not too much, but just a little bit. Gets a little aggressive with her to where she falls, and that gets Chad a little rowdy. So him and that guy are having like the bro pushing fight. We're like, come at me, bro, come at me, and they're pushing and shoving and doing the circle thing. Till Sam pop up and give Frankie the little electric shot to the balls with a taser, and he immediately falls to the ground. Um, the gang all leaves. Tara is completely embarrassed. Her and Sam get into a huge fight about how Sam is just being clingy, and they were apart for 5 years, and now they haven't been apart for 5 seconds, and how Tara doesn't want to go to the therapist, and she doesn't want to hash out everything about that happened in the past. She just wants to move on with her life, and she wants Sam to ultimately do the same. Like, they can still be sisters and they love each other, but Tara's just ready to move on past all of this. And not to mention, Tara completely lied to Daybreak Frankie. He was like, "Where are you from?" She was like, "Oh, I'm from Michigan." And I'm like, "Girl, Michigan." And then he called her and he was like, "Aren't you the girl from all the murders and stuff that happened in California?" She was like, "No." Lies. But while they're having this argument, someone completely gives Sam the Glee fashion drink in the face. If you've seen Glee, you know it. It's another one of Richie's stands who thinks that she is the real killer, and she actually got away with it all by framing Richie and Amber for the murders. Back at the apartment, we see Chad and Tara. They've gotten a little closer since what happened last movie. And she lets him know that she's after they have a little conversation, she lets him know that she's a little sober, and they start to lean in for a kiss, which is interrupted by Miss Redhead Gwen, who come in and spoil the moment. And I'm like, sis, you could have waited. Your phone was not beeping, buzzing, nothing. You could have waited for that phone. After Sam have a little makeout sesh with her neighbor / sneaky link, they had the whole conversation about her not being comfortable and ready to be out and open yet. Chad calls them back upstairs, and they're watching the news where they're talking about the murders that happened with the film students that killed their professor, but then ultimately were killed by a mystery killer, leaving a ghost face mask behind. Now, Sam, in her right mind, is ready to pack up, leave. Tara's like, "No, I have school. You just can't uproot me." So they tell Gwen to call her father, which probably would happen anyways because they find Sam's ID at the crime scene. So Gwen's dad was calling regardless. Tara tags along to go to the station with Sam, and on the way, Sam gets a call from Richie. And then she sees the number. They both like literally see like they see a ghost. Like, no lie. But Sam, this is stupid. Like, why wouldn't you? She said she didn't delete his number, his contact. Girl, I mean, I know he not calling no more, but I would have still just deleted the number. It's obviously Ghostface who's calling, and he's telling her that you should be happy that I got rid of those other two people. They were trying to kill you, and she was like, "No, not happy at all." But they were like, "We're going to make you pay." And then they jumped out and tried to get Tara. But Tara obviously been taking some good self-defense classes, which they should have done, because Tara ended up elbowing Ghostface in the face, and they were able to run into a bodega. Now, this is one of the scenes that I was literally waiting for in the theaters. They run into the bodega, and they think they're going to get help and they're going to be safe because there's people around the bodega. Ghostface ends up following them right into the bodega, and the first guy who buff up to Ghostface gets a deep stab to the chest, like a chin. And then some people run out, but then another guy tries to run up on Ghostface, and same treatment. And I'm like everyone else, in the background. I'm getting up out of there. This ain't got nothing to do with me. So not the Bedoga, the Bedoga, Bedoga, Bodoga, Bedoga, the store owner. He runs out. He has a shotgun. He shoots at Ghostface, but Ghostface fashion, he ducks. The girls try to run out, but the door is locked. Ghostface sneaks up on the store owner and gets the best of him. End up stabbing him all kind of types of ways, taking the gun and literally boom, blowing his head off with the shotgun. Like the first person I've ever seen come to a gunfight with a knife and and win. Like that was the best. That was a good headshot. That was better than the headshot we got with Liv in. Well, no, because that was surprising, but this was still a good headshot. So, Sarah and Tam, why is their name so hard to say? Sam and Tara are literally frightened, trying to keep as quiet as they can to either, I guess, trick Ghostface to make Ghostface think they left, but sis, y'all couldn't get up out of there. They end up knocking Ghostface down with one of the shelves. And when Ghostface runs out, the police are already pulling up and Ghostface is gone. They end up going back to the station to see Detective Bailey, where he asked them questions about who would want to do this and why all this is going on. They don't know. And if they really don't have nobody that will be after them because everybody that was after them is gone. We find out that the DNA to the mask that was left at the first crime scene belonged to Richie and Amber. And then now at the bodega, we get another mask left behind. DNA is marking that to Jill and Charlie. After we find out the DNA that's on the mask, we get a return to us, and it's Kirby. She's now in the FBI, but she is specialized. She specializes in Ghostface murders. So welcome back, Kirby. Her and Sam end up showing scar wounds, but I'm like, girl, you should have been comparing wounds to Tara. I don't think no one. Well, a couple people have been stabbed. Well, Tara and Chad about the same. They should check out stab wounds together. But after leaving the station, we get our fave. Also, we get another return of the fabulous Gail Weathers. She's back in another popping color suit in the Gail Weather fashion. But also we back to Gail with her bad habits. We find out that Gail actually wrote the book about the murders of 2022. When sis, you said you were going to give us a beautiful book dedicated and about Dewey. What happened? Like you promised. So Sam, being rightfully pissed off, goes for a Sydney swing, but it was a miss. Gail was ready. Gail moved real quick, but she was not ready for that little bitty Tara to come up with that hard right hook, putting Gail out like down. Going back to the therapist's home after the Gail debacle, he hears a knock on the door, goes up. We clearly see it's Ghostface. Don't know why he keeps going up even further to the door, but Ghostface don't even let him open the door because shoving through the glass, Ghostface stabs him, gut shot, and then comes through again with a face shot stab to the face. And I'm like, Ghostface is not playing this time around. Like, sir, you bashed through a door and stabbed the doctor. And then took Sam's, I guess, medical records or therapy records, notes. I don't know what you call the therapy notes they take. The killer took all that. So another moment we've all been waiting for when we get into the Scream movies, where we get our good old horror movie rules and terms, which we get by Mandy. And she's also a little excited did I say Mandy? Mindy. Which Mindy is a little excited this time around because she wants to actually, get the killers right this time, because last time she was incapacitated, when it came down to figuring out the last couple of minutes of the movie. Like she wasn't with us. That this is a sequel to the requel, but it's not just a sequel. We're in a franchise, so everything's going to be bigger, badder, and the rules are different. Matter of fact, throw away the rules if you think you know the rules. Um, and she states all the rules that we have, and then she repeats. You can't trust the love interest. Well, she looks right at poor Anika, who looks so sweet and innocent. Ouch. So Kirby and Detective Bailey have went completely Charlie from Always Sunny in Philadelphia, the episode where he was in the mailroom with the board with the lines and just everything. They put all the information they have about the past Ghostface and the masks that were left behind. Kirby mapping out each mask from um, each murder that was left, adding Roman's mask which was left at the therapist's home. Um, they're seeing that they're counting down to something, obviously, with the three last masks being Billy's, Mrs. Loomis, and Stewmacher's. So back at the apartment, what was the apartment dorm? I forget. I don't know what it is, but we get back to the apartment where we have our core four. Thank you, chat, for naming the group. And also we have Anika and Gwen there also. Gwen is having, company. We see Tara and Chad yet again with another little moment, and Tara is trying to tell Chad that she wants him to leave to be safe. She can't handle, seeing him get hurt again. He was like really hurt last time. And, same with Chad. Like he doesn't want to leave her, leave her by her lonesome. But they start to, get a little bit closer. And right before they were about to attempt to kiss, there go Mindy with her little side plot telling them they should go ahead and kiss already. It's like, girl, they were finna do it if you would just sit there and watch like we were doing. You spectate. Let them do that. So now we see the core four having a little powwow at the table. They're just, talking about everything. Sam is letting them know that she is talking to Danny. And then while we get them being happy for a split second, then we see Danny in his apartment across the way. While he's looking over, he sees Ghostface standing right over Gwen's bed. And this girl is looking his way on the phone, and she can't see the Ghostface behind her. This was a great hype moment for me, because I'm like, he's yelling and trying to, he's taunting. First of all, he's taunting Ghostface, saying, I see you. Like, yeah, Ghostface see you too. But then he's yelling at them through the window, trying to get their attention. And I'm just like, dude, I'm begging you, throw something. Throw something at the window to get their attention. They're not going to hear you. So while he's yelling, he decides to call, but they're joking around and laughing about the fact that she's dating him, and she doesn't answer the call. Then he finally texts showing that Ghostface is attacking Gwen, and then when they huddle up and finally realize what's going on, before they get a chance to run, Gwen's body comes flying through the door, and Ghostface comes out of nowhere attacking them. We see Nika getting stabbed like hard. Like, this was her first step. Not saying that any of them should get less crucial stabbings than the other, but dang, little Anika got really stabbed hard. And then Minnie got she got stabbed again in her arm. Chad and Tara were able to make it out. Sorry about the popping. I don't know why I do that. Chad and Tara were able to make it quickly out of the apartment. I mean, they tried to run back, but the door was locked and closed, so that they had no other choice but to still leave. Mindy and Sam Sam really is beating Ghostface with anything she could find around the apartment, while Mindy and Anika are running, trying to get into a safe quarters to be able to barricade the doors so Ghostface can't get in. While doing that, we see the boy that Gwen was in there with. Like, dang, that's sad. You come over for a good time and you end up a Ghostface victim. That's not the way to go out. Um, Once they're in the room and they get it somewhat barricaded, Mindy is still holding Ghostface back with the shelf in front of the door. Danny, I don't know how or where he gets this ladder from, slide throws the ladder across the alleyway, sends it over, and they have to literally crawl from one window to the next window over. I don't know what floor they were in, but pretty high up. I want to say maybe fifth floor, fourth floor, and crawl over an alleyway. So they have to be good with that. Sam goes first, and she, even though we get the tremble and the shaking, Sam gets through no problem. Minnie and Anika kind of have a hard time just deciding on who should go next. But to be completely honest with you, even if Anika was to make it across that ladder, she was bubbling blood out of her wounds. I didn't think sis was gonna make it as far as she did. But Mindy ends up going ahead of Anika, and Mindy makes it across. Now, when Anika is going, first of all, she was crying and boohooing because she wasn't thinking she was going to even be able to do it. But sis, life and death, you better try to do it, which she did. And I hate that happened. But she is going across the ladder. Ghostface eventually breaks in. Not really wanting to deal with the knife, which he didn't have to. He saw a better way to get the job done. He um, takes the ladder and shakes it until Nika falls. She falls really hard. She hits a dumpster, smacks her face, closed casket. Closed casket. The events roll over into the next morning. We see Danny telling Sam that with all this going on, it's best not to trust anyone, not even him. Smart words, best things that ever been told to Sam in this situation, which is true. You really just can't trust anyone at this point. The twins end up the twins end up ganging up on Ethan since he was the only one that wasn't there that night. Chad shoved him into a van, and then Mindy literally put him at the top of her list um, of them of being the killer. Detective Bailey comes in from the crime scene, seeing the body of Gwen, and he swears to take down Ghostface at all costs, really. Gail comes off the record, because she's still with the media. So she comes off the record to help, and then she gets reunited with Kirby, and it's one big happy family again. Yay! Gail takes the gang to go see where the masks were coming from after tracing an old theater back to Jason and his roommate. Like, everything got traced back to them. This leads to the scene that I was also really excited to see. From because it just was so exciting and I'm really jealous of the people who actually got to go to where the shrine was shot. Um, it was a shrine just dedicated to scream slash stab movies. Like, literally, it had everything that would drive me and any other scream fanatic insane. They had the bloody clothes, they had the weapons, the books, the stab movies, the a very good visual of Steve's death in '96 Scream. Like, they had the mannequin tied up, taped up with the Letterman jacket on. That was really cool to see. They had the TV that kills Stu, drawings of people. They had stuff from the College of Scream too. It was just crazy. And they had the fax machine that was in Scream 3. And I'm just like, how? If the house blew up. I don't even want to get into it. I don't even want to get into it. The house blew up, but y'all got the fax machine. Okay, so this room is all the evidence from all the past killings, and it really sends them back down memory lane. Mindy and Chad seeing things that belong to their Uncle Randy. Kirby seen Jill's clothes, the knife that she was stabbed by Charlie with. Gail seen, this was so sad to see. Gail seeing the drawings of Dewey, seeing his badge and his gun on display. R.I.P. Dewey. I'm still getting over it, y'all. I'm sorry. Just cut the camera. So Sam walks up to the Ghostface costumes and she goes straight up to the center to Billy's, and we get Daddy Billy back. Well, Daddy Ghostface Billy. And he's, just trying to pump Sam up to kill again, giving her the same old, it's in your blood type of speech. Kirby and Mindy have a little horror girl fan out moment, testing each other, real quick, trivia, rapid fire style, just to see who knows what, to see, but they mainly got the same answers. I think it was only 2 answers that was different. And one was because Kirby thought she had a crush on, I forgot what it was, but them 2 top fan girls. After Sam and Tara have a tough conversation about just everything that happened, and Tara not wanting to put it all on Sam, but Sam putting it all on herself and saying that, Tara and no one would be in this if all this wouldn't have came out. Really, I hate that they blame themselves when it starts with their parents. Like, her mom lied to her, Sydney's mom lied to her, and then in the end they blame themselves. But after Sam and Tara have that conversation, Gail and Sam have another heart-to-heart, and I really love how we get the Dewey Cowboy theme music while they're having their heart-to-heart. It really made me still miss Dewey, you guys. Dang it. But Kirby and Detective Bailey, they get the gang together. They come up with a plan that they think is going to trap Ghostface. But no press. Sorry, Gail. The plan completely backfired, though, because they think they're going to trace Ghostface's phone, and Ghostface is going to actually be closer to them while calling them. But Ghostface is smarter than your average bear. They are able to track Ghostface's phone, but it's giving an address. And the girls definitely know the address, and it's Gail's. We see Gail at home with her new chocolate boo. Okay, but Gail, Dewey is you're always going to be Dewey's, and I can't have you cheating on Dewey like this, Gail. Even though he's gone, he's not gone. The phone rings though, and her boo gives her the phone. This is her first interaction with a Ghostface calling her. Ghostface has called her, but Randy picked up the phone in Scream 2. So, but this is her actual first dialogue with Ghostface over the phone, getting the phone call. We see everything that happened in the trailer with, her Ghostface back and forth. We see Ghostface take out Boo, R.I.P. Boo, in the background. Gail puts up one hell of a fight. She runs and she's smart. She goes and get her clickety clack. But sis, you were wasting bullets. Like, I get, a bullet here, a bullet there, just to pierce that bulletproof vest, make them fall down a little bit, stumble, get a little but you should have really waited until the door opened. And to get that headshot. My favorite part though, when she was having this interaction with Ghostface tells her, "Fine, you got me. I'm gone. I'm down the elevator." Gail's walking around her apartment and she's like, "Could you hold, please?" Ghostface was like, "What?" Gail does Gail, and she stars 69 the number, or call the number from another the second line, making the phone ring and hearing it, giving some gunshots to that door. Still, sis, wait till the door opens. Ghostface jumps out. She again gives it her all. She thought she had the best, but he ended up stabbing her with a piece of glass. Uh, um, I thought Gil was really gone in this movie. He stabbed her hella hard with that piece of glass, and it went really deep. But Gail's last words were, "Tell Sydney he did not get me." And then when the ambulance came, the paramedics, they said they still had a faint heartbeat. Yay! So the gang, traumatized after what happened to Gail, decide to come up with another plan. They decided that they're going to just go back to the theater and make a trap for Ghostface there. On the way back, the gang gets separated with Sam, Tara, Danny, and Chad on one train, and then Mindy and Ethan on another. Now, both trains are sprinkled with people dressed up in the Ghostface mask, giving everyone heavy panic attacks and PTSD. But we notice that there's a ghost face that's catching Minnie's attention on her train, which is actually our ghost face, who jumps up and takes Mindy while like right in front of people too. Oh, girl was just drunk. I mean, she was asleep. Poor little leprechaun. She was asleep, but Mindy was getting stabbed right in front of you, sis, and no one woke up. Mindy's out again for the third act. The rest of them show up to the theater. Kirby locks the doors. She lets them know there's only one weapon. There's only one way in, one way out, and it's locked. And the only weapon they have is the gun, and she's keeping it. She's the only one with a license, and not license. She's the only one with a badge. So, Sam walks back to Billy's costume. And they have another little father-daughter moment where he's telling her, "Hey, you need to be prepared." So she takes his handy dandy knife, which is already bloody. Yay! Let's trade what is it? Blood. Let's swap DNA like that. Ew. Like, if the stab not gonna kill you, whatever is on that knife is definitely gonna kill you. So Tara and Chad finally get to have their private moment, and they get to have their kiss scene where Tara's like, "You can do this." Where Chad was like, "I should have did that earlier," and Tara's like, "Well, now you can do it all the time." But the moment is yet again spoiled with Ghostface coming up and stabbing Tara in the back. It's crazy. Like, they can never win. They end up taking off and running, and they're trying to get away from Ghostface. And when they think they have the best of Ghostface, they have one on the ground. Chad's about to hit them over the head with, I think, is a empty bubblegum ball machine. But another Ghostface comes up and stabs Chad right in the underarm. So now we have two Ghostface, and they are literally taking turns stabbing Chad to death. And his last bloody words were telling Tara to run. Well, Tara and Sam, but mainly Tara, which was really sad to watch. Kirby comes out, and she's saying that she was attacked, and to trust her, and it's not her. She's not the ghost face. Detective Bailey actually called Sam and told Sam that Kirby was fired from the FBI, and she has been working for the FBI for 2 months. And that's why Kirby's coming out saying that they need to trust her. And that's when Detective Bailey comes out, and he's telling them, it's Kirby. Kirby's saying it's him, and then we get the infamous scene where Ghostface is coming up behind Detective Bailey, giving us what we think is the stab. But then Detective Bailey takes 2 shots to Kirby, and Kirby goes down, giving us our second, because our first reveal was technically Jason, but giving us our second Ghostface reveal, Detective Bailey. Then we see the next Ghostface come out. Well, we see 2 more Ghostface come out, and giving us a total of 3 killers in front of the Carpenter sisters. The next mask that belonged to Mrs. Loomis comes off, and it's Ethan. It's like Mindy said, it was Ethan. I caught that too. He just gave vibes. It was Ethan the whole time. The last Ghostface pulling a Roman with the fake death, it's Gwen. Now, which is crazy because Sam at first was like Mindy, because Mindy was the last person to be seen with Ethan. But no, Gwen is wearing Stu's mask and she pulled a Roman. Good for you, Gwen. That was a good death scene. And why would they plot and kill them, you ask? Same old plot. It's family. They are the family of Richie. Detective Bailey is wearing Billy's hat. Well, he's not. He has Billy's mask now. So the last three are complete. They want Sam to put the mask on so they can fully tie her to all these murders, and they just want to clear. Well, Detective Bailey basically wants to clear his favorite son because that's what his monologue was giving. That Richie was his favorite son. You could see it all over Ethan's face. He really was just doing it to Ethan and Gwen were just doing this to get the love of their dad, to get him like, hey, we're here too. We're gonna help. But it's your favorite son. Um, and they're just, one big happy psychotic family. Sam and Tara prepare to fight. They have to fight for their lives. They're trying to run to the nearest exit, which is up on the second floor. It looks like. Um, they get attacked again, having Tara fall off the balcony, and Sam is holding on to Tara. And while Sam is holding on to Tara, Gwen is walking towards them, but Ethan's also below, giving them a rock and a hard place type of situation. But Sam and Tara have the moment where Tara looks at her and say, "You have to let me go." But right before Sam finally lets her go, she gives her Daddy Billy's knife. Tara and Ethan have it out. Tara gets the best of him, stabbing him right down the throat, like right in the mouth with that knife. It was kind of gruesome. Guess he really is dying a virgin. He said that earlier that he didn't want to die a virgin, but rules change. You're gone, sir. Sam finds the gun that Kirby had and gives Gwen a good old, real quick pop shot to the head, leaving the last fight between Detective Bailey and Sam, sending them both over the balcony, knocking Detective Bailey out. When he finally comes back to, he notices that Billy's costume is gone, and he's getting the phone call from Sam, you doing the Ghostface voice. The whole back and forth, they do the whole back and forth until she comes out and stabs him, give him the same energy she gave Richie at the end of 5, until Tara comes out, to break her out of the trance a little bit. But then Sam goes ahead and finishes him off with a nice stab to the eye. And like Scream fashion at the end, once you think it's over, we always get the pop-up killer, which is Ethan running towards them. But he gets killed with the same TV that killed Stu, which is thrown by Kirby, saying that she saw it in the movie once, which was kind of corny, but I guess, girl. We get those final words of, oh, we're all a family now, and it's over. But then Tara gets a little down thinking about Chad. But then we get those final words we love to hear at the end of a Scream movie. We have a live one, and we turn around and we see Chad being rolled out. And when they're asking, like, "Oh my God, Chad, how?" The only thing my boy could do was hold up the 4, core 4, baby, core 4. Mindy runs up and she's yelling like, the killer is Billy and not Billy. The killer is Officer Detective Bailey and Ethan. Then Tara says, in Gwen, and she kind of get bummed out, like, dang it, she missed another monologue. But she's also ecstatic because she can't feel a thing, because obviously they gave her some really, really good happy drugs in the hospital. So the last shot we get is Sam holding the ghost face mask of Billy. And I think this is her really coming to a crossroads of taking on the mask and becoming, the legacy that is hers, and becoming the killer that her father wants. But we see her, instead of keeping the mask, or um, I don't know, putting on her face. I don't know how it would have played out if she would have was like, okay, I'm gonna be a killer now, so I'm just gonna put this mask in my back pocket. No, we see her drop the mask and she walks off seamlessly into the sunset with Tara. Um, and that was it for the movie. I thought this movie was really good. It had a lot of uh plot twist. I did not see Gwen being a killer. They did better with her death scene than with Roman's death scene. Um, Again, I really loved having all the different variations of the mask, from Billy's, like, you can tell like it's the oldest mask, to Richie and Amber's mask, which look fairly still brand new. Um, what else? We had some really, really good kills in this movie. Really good chase scenes. Really glad they bumped up the chase scenes this movie. My only complaint really is that we did not have the Queen Neve Campbell, which I really do hope they pay her her coins and get her back for 7, which I'm pretty sure is going to be a 7. Like, come on. Thoughts for Scream 7? Um, I really think that since this one really went with the whole, it really followed the same beat almost as Scream 2. We got a little bit of the twists and the turns, like we've never had 3 Ghostface. Well, technically we have 4. No, technically we really have 5 Ghostface. If you count the guy that was in the refrigerator, even though we didn't see him put the mask on. Does it count if we don't see them put the mask on? Let me know in the comments. Does it count if they don't put the mask on? Let me know down below. I think Scream 7 will probably be Sam dealing with either a brother or sister, like Billy had another kid out there, possibly. Or what if Stu has a kid and it's their kid wanting their dad to not only have the same recognition as Billy, because that's one of the things that I feel like they mention and hint a lot at. They don't really pay much attention of Stu being a killer. It's more so Billy, 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 when Stu was there too. So what if Stu's not alive? I still am one of those people, I'm riding the bus until it falls. Stu's alive. So either he's alive and he's training his child to be a killer, or his child wants to basically have a one-on-one with Sam to see which legacy child killer, child murderer, I don't know, which one is going to have the throne. And this one's going to probably want to take over that throne and that legacy and actually be a killer, just like Billy or Stu, whichever one had the kid, and the kid's going to come back. Because I think that's what's going to happen in Scream 7. It's going to be an extra kid somewhere, and they're going to come and duke it out with Sam for the throne. But I had fun. I love the movie. Tell me what you think about the movie. Put your comments down below. Tell your new Scream movie order, best to worst. Tell me what you think is going to happen in 7. Tell me your favorite parts about this movie. And like and subscribe. I had fun, you guys. And I can't wait to talk to you again and do to the next one.